Namo Buddhaya. Welcome back to Monks in the Morning from Colombo Dhamma Friends of Mahame Unawa. The monks here are so happy to get to spend time with you now. It's really hard to find people in the world who are interested in learning and practicing the Dhamma. We love that you care enough about your future that you would spend time listening to these Dhamma teachings. Have you ever seen a baby before? I think you have, haven't you? Do you remember when you were a baby? Probably not. But you know for sure that you were a baby at one point, weren't you? And if you think about it, you'll probably know that when you're reborn, you'll have to be a baby again, don't you? But do we usually think about this every time we see a baby? No, most of us don't. But the Supreme Buddha wanted us to remember every time we see a baby that we have to be a baby again if we're reborn in samsara. Today, we'll learn all the things to watch out for that remind us about samsara. Now let's take the refuges and the precepts.
Sadu, Sadu, Sadu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Saṅghaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Sadu, Sadu, Sadu. Say after me, I observe the precept of abstaining from killing beings. I observe the precept of abstaining from stealing. I observe the precept of abstaining from sexual misconduct. I observe the precept of abstaining from telling lies. I observe the precept of abstaining from taking intoxicating drinks and drugs with the refuge of the Noble Triple Gem. I observe these precepts for happiness in this life for rebirth in heaven, to escape from the sufferings of samsara. May it help me. May it be a blessing. Sadu, sadhu, sadhu.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Dear children, in Lord Buddha's Dhamma, there is this beautiful verse. It's read like this. Dhammo have rakkati dhammachari, chattam mahantang yatavasakali, esa nisanso dhammo suchinno, naduggating gacchati dhammachari. Dhammo have rakkati dhammachari means Dhamma protects him who practices Dhamma. Chattam mahantang yatavasakali, just like a big umbrella held in rain. When it's pouring rain and there is no other shelter, what is there to protect you from? Yes, it's the umbrella you're holding, just like that. Dhamma protects you. Esani sanso dhammo suchinno. This is the benefit, the result, or the gift that he who practices Dhamma would get. And that is, naduggating gacchati dhammachari. He will never end up in a bad destination. You know what these bad destinations are, don't you? The hell, the animal world, the world of ghosts, and so on. Would you like to be born in hell? I bet you wouldn't. The birth in hell is something that the wise wouldn't phrase. It is the place where all unwise people are born. Those who foolishly do bad things are born in hell, where the flames are so strong and fearsome. Creatures in hell are tortured and burned to death. Again and again they are born in hell, tortured, again burned to death. The Lord Buddha said what's it like in hell in the sutta named Devaduta. The word Devaduta means divine messengers. Once a man is born in hell, King Yama, who is the Lord in hell, reminds the bad doer of his bad actions and asks him whether he has seen these 5 divine messengers or not. Each time the bad doer says no, King Yama again reminds him by revealing or saying who these divine messengers really are, and asks him again if he has seen them. Then the bad doer says yes, and says even though he has seen them, he has neglected. Neglected here means you don't pay attention to, and you don't care. You don't think it's important. Now here are the 5 I will tell you. See if you can learn them by heart, if you could remember them. When you see these divine messengers, you can think of them as divine messengers. That is the way to practice Dhamma. When you see them in real life, if you can think of them as divine messengers, you will be sensitive to Dhamma. That means you will have a feeling that Dhamma is real. Right, here are the 5. First one is the newborn, an infant. Do you know what an infant is? Yes, a little baby, lying on a bed or a cot and crying for milk. When you see a baby crying, you should remind yourself that you are born again and again, and that there will be another life for you. If you want your next life to be full of happiness, then you must start doing merits now itself. There is no time for you to wait. There is no time to delay. A baby, children, is a divine messenger. The second divine messenger is an old man. When you see a man who has reached the age of 80, 90, or 100, very old, very sick and crying in pain, he who needs someone else's help to stand up, he who needs someone else's help to get to the bed, you should think, I will reach this age. This will happen to me as well. I must not delay doing merits. I must stop all the bad things I'm doing. I must start merits now itself. An old man is a divine messenger. Third one is the sick man. When you see a man infected with an illness of some kind and who is in a really bad condition, you should think, this can happen to me as well. Even I get sick. What would happen if I get sick and died? Before becoming sick like this, I must start doing merits, you should think. The sick man you see, children, is a divine messenger. The fourth divine messenger is the convict, someone who has done wrong, maybe a murderer or a thief. When you see or hear a murderer or a thief being punished by law, imprisoned, given a lot of hard work in prison, or maybe being whipped with canes by the wardens in the prison, when you hear such stories of horror, you should think bad doers are punished so, bad doers are punished so. I must not do any bad deeds. If I do bad deeds, I will end up in prison and my life after death will be in hell. I must start doing merits now, you should think. The fifth divine messenger is the dead man. When you see or hear that a man has died, you should think that death comes to you as well. Someday you will die too. Children, death is something that you cannot stop. With death, the beginning of your next life comes. So you should think, before I die, I will do a lot of merits. By thinking of these divine messengers, you will have an urge to practice Dhamma. You will strive forth. You won't delay practicing Dhamma. That means you won't wait until you're old to practice Dhamma. You will start observing the precepts, practice giving, and of course you will meditate. Children, they are called divine messengers because they show you the path to heaven. But when they are seen, it is our duty to remind ourselves that the path to heaven lies in what we do. In other words, if you do merit, you will be born in heaven. By the merits we have gained by listening to this sermon, may you all realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadu, Sadu, Sadu.
Buddhanussati, recollection on the qualities of the Supreme Buddha. Now we're going to sit quietly and think about the excellent qualities of the Supreme Buddha. This is something that he encouraged us to do, and as a meditation, it works really well to make our minds calm and concentrated. Supreme Buddhas are unique in the world because they're the only ones to have all of these qualities we're going to think about now. We do this recollection in brief when we recite the Itipiso Gatha, but now we'll do it in detail. So close your eyes and sit quietly. Try not to move so that our minds can become still. Now, think in this way.
My great teacher, Gautama Buddha, eradicated passion, hatred and delusion. Supreme Buddha, realize the Four Noble Truths without anyone's help, without anyone's help. Supreme Buddha eradicated the desire for seeing forms, eradicated the desire for hearing sounds, eradicated the desire for smelling odors, eradicated the desire for tasting flavors, eradicated the desire for touching tangibles, eradicated the desire for thinking thoughts. In this way, the great teacher, Supreme Buddha, is an Arahant. Supreme Buddha realized the Four Noble Truths without anyone's help, achieved true happiness. In this way, the great teacher is a Samma Sambuddha. Supreme Buddha saw the passing away of other beings. Supreme Buddha recollected past lives, saw the passing away of other beings, purified the mind from all taint, developed great virtue, concentration and wisdom. In this way, the great teacher is Vijjacharana Sampanno. Supreme Buddha followed the noble path and achieved true happiness, obtained the final goal, achieved Nibbana. In this way, the great Buddha is Sugato. My great teacher, Supreme Buddha, understood all worlds and escaped from all worlds. In this way, the great Buddha is Lokavidu. Supreme Buddha tamed others' mind with supernatural powers by reading others' mind, by preaching the Dhamma, became an incomparable teacher. In this way, The great Buddha is Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarati. Supreme Buddha became a great teacher for gods and humans. In this way, the great Buddha became a Satta Deva Manussanam. Supreme Buddha taught the sublime Dhamma without holding anything back. In this way, the great Buddha is Buddha, is Buddha, my great teacher, Gautama Buddha, obtained these unique qualities, became a Bhagava, my great teacher, Gautama Buddha is a Bhagava, 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 Bhagava. The Buddha is my refuge. The Dhamma is my refuge. The Sangha is my refuge. There is no other protection than the protection of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Sadu, Sadu, Sadu. දෙව්ලොව බඹලොව මනුලොව සතර අපාදන්නේ knows very well about the divine worlds, Brahma worlds, human world and the four bad destinations. කල කම්පල දෙමින් සතුන් තන යන්නේ, wandering in the world according to the karma that give results. ලොව උපදින ලොවින් මිදෙන මගමනවින් දන්නේ, knowing the paths very well that leads to birth in the world and to escape from the world. ලෝකවිදු ගුණයෙන් යුතු බුදු හිමි නම දින්නේ, venerating the Buddha, accomplished with the quality of Lokavidu. Sadu Sadu Mama Gautama Munindu Sarana Yanne. Sadhu, sadhu, I go for refuge to the great sage Gautama Buddha. Children, the Buddha's qualities. Even if you tell the Buddha's qualities for a yawn, the yawn will finish, but the Buddha's qualities will remain. That much the Buddha was meritorious. That much the Buddha was unequal and unique.
It was great to spend time with you today. We hope that you learned something new, and we really hope that you can use what you learned as you go about the rest of your day. Do you remember the 5 divine messengers we learned about today? We talked about the first one in the introduction. A baby. When we see a baby, we should remember that we have to be reborn again sometime if we don't attain Nibbana. Do you remember the second messenger? It's kind of the opposite of a baby. It's an old person. And the third? A sick person. The fourth? This one's a little different. A prisoner who has to be punished for the bad things that they do. And then the last one? This one's a little easier. A dead body. So, now we know that whenever we see these things, whenever we see a baby, an old person, a sick person, a prisoner, who we don't see too often, but when we do, we should remember, and a dead body, also we don't see too often, but when we do, we need to remember about doing good actions in our lives to bring happiness to our lives and others in this life and especially future lives. So now let's share merits. Today, we've done many wholesome actions by body, by speech, and by mind. And when we do actions like that, we like for others to rejoice in that merit. So, may our teacher, Lokasaya Hangsa, our parents, our relatives, our friends, may they all rejoice in this merit. May they have happy minds, remembering the good actions that we've done here today. Through the power of this rejoicing, and through the power of this merit, may they soon experience for themselves the supreme bliss of Nibbana in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sad, sad, sad. Namo Buddhaya.